I think that if I was 25 today, I wouldn't do things any differently than when I was 25 in real time. There's only any point in creating something if you have a passion for it, if you feel you can make a real difference, if you often out of personal frustration you feel that other people are not doing it very well, and therefore you feel that you can go in and shake up an industry, shake up a marketplace, and do it a lot better than it's been done by other people. Ideally, you need to have real personal passion. So you shouldn't think of it as a business. You should think of it as just creating something which is going to make a really positive difference to other people's lives. So if as a 25-year-old I was into the e-commerce or into being internet savvy, I'm sure that I would see situations where things weren't being done well. For instance, there is no. In Europe, there's not really a newspaper empire based on good news, positive news, where you can have a really substantial read about issues, almost like a LinkedIn in the newspaper world, or Huffington Post touches on it. So I started off with a magazine, student magazine, when I was 15, 16 years old. So maybe today what I would do would be to set up a newspaper which really was a positive newspaper, but on the web. And I think if you set about doing something like that with conviction, and if you feel that you believe in it, then it's likely you'll get other people to believe in it too, and it's likely you'll get advertisers to come, and it's likely you can make a success of it. Anyway, that's just an idea off the top of my head. But I think something that would be the kind of thing that I'd love to do. It sounds like there are some people that are building companies, from the people you're talking about, are just for pure financial gain, and I don't think that's particularly satisfying. I think we started Virgin Atlantic, our airline, 30 years ago with one plane. I don't think I would ever sell it in my lifetime, because we're proud of the airline. It's a great flagship for the Virgin brand, and if you sell a company, it's like selling people. I had to sell our record company once because of the battle we were having with British Airways, and although we were given $1 billion, as you read in the book, it was a very sad day. And it should be a sad day because you're selling people. So I think if people have got reasonable confidence in their company, it's so much more satisfying to build it, to not to sell it, and have the satisfaction of looking after the people who work for it for many years to come. Obviously, if they feel that they could be driven out of business by a bigger competitor, a bigger American competitor, or whatever, then sometimes maybe cashing in, making some money from the first company, building another one, using the financial strength. Maybe it's sensible, but generally speaking, I think people should try not to do that. The question is, what is a business? A business is very simply making a positive difference to other people's lives, and that can be technological difference, but generally it's not a technological business. But most businesses are non-technological businesses, and people should just ask themselves what are they frustrated about in what they're doing in life, how could they get rid of that frustration for themselves and for other people? And if they feel they can get rid of that frustration by starting a business to get rid of that frustration, then they have a business. And you know, I mean, I think we do need in Europe more tech. You know, we do need more tech businesses to compete with San Francisco. All the company is a group of people. So you know, so if you haven't, you know, two airlines, they can both have 747 airplanes. It's the people inside those bits of metal that are going to make the difference. So unless you have an emphasis on people, you won't succeed. And the reason I think that Virgin succeeded, you know, in the last 30 years, 24 out of the 25 companies we've competed with have gone bankrupt. I mean, Pan Am, TWA, you know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And they've gone bankrupt because they haven't looked after their people. Their people were disillusioned. They weren't given the tools, and they just disappeared. And Virgin survived because we have a great team of people, and they're proud of the company, and they're given the tools to do a good job. The best bit of advice I give in speeches, and it really has transformed a lot of people's entrepreneurs' lives, is just to say, you know, for God's sake, delegate, you know, find people better than you to do the day-to-day running of your companies, and then you can look at the big picture. You know, some people are just frightened of their position. They're frightened of I don't know. They're frightened of other people making mistakes. But you know, the truth is that other people are generally, you know, if you choose well, they can be better than you. They'll think things which you would never have thought. So you're right. It's bizarre that entrepreneurs are such bad delegators.